so much of the interesting things that are happening in the marketplace are happening on the private side, considerably more than they were 10 years ago. On one hand, it's a little bit of, do you want to participate in some of those things that are happening? Innovation in healthcare, innovation in AI, the sort of interesting portfolio exposures you can get from hard assets and infrastructure. So if you do, then you're investing in alternatives and you're investing in private markets. And then look, I think a little bit more specifically, like why are all those interesting today? I think in private credit, you can get premium yield over classic public fixed income. The hard assets that I mentioned can really give you utility in your portfolio, being a ballast against so much volatility or so much movement in the public markets, a lot of which we've seen in the last 12 months or even longer. So if you want those portfolio qualities, that market opportunity that's kind of showing itself today, and you want to participate in what's making up a really, really big piece of the total market, you're investing in alternatives. And then we know what's the proposition for wealth? Wealth has always fascinated us as a channel because it's a really big pool of capital. For starters, it's growing. Not every pool of capital, if you go across all of them, is growing to the extent that wealth is. And they're historically underallocated to alternatives. Now, everybody has a unique target, rationale for that target. But if you take all of the individuals in the world, there's approximate a 5% exposure to alternatives across all of them. If you look at a large institution, it's 2 or 3 or 4 times that. It's in the mid-20s. They're also, individuals in wealth as a segment are at the very beginning of this kind of education curve and this implementation of alternatives in the portfolio. So it's really exciting. Said another way, there's a big need. And what we've seen particularly in the last 3 years, is that's being met with a lot of innovation by investment managers, Goldman being one of them.